back. We're going to be back in the game. It's not American alone. Number one, I've had the opportunity to speak with now 6 world leaders, and the response has been very fulsome.
Check 1, 2.
Energetic.
President-elect Joe Biden talking about his interactions with foreign leaders as they are congratulating him on his election. Joining us now to talk about foreign policy now and in the future, the Secretary of State of the United States, Mike Pompeo. Mr. Secretary, thanks for the time.
Thank you, Brett. Thanks for having me on this evening.
So what do you say to world leaders who are reaching out to Joe Biden, now the president-elect, leaders from all kinds of countries, Belgium, Canada, Estonia, France, Germany, Greece, the list goes on, even Saudi Arabia, which was President Trump's first stop, congratulating President-elect Joe Biden from the King of Saudi Arabia. What do you say to them?
Well, I'll actually be in Paris on Monday, and I'm headed to Saudi Arabia after that. There's still an awful lot of work to do. We're reminding everyone that all the votes haven't been counted. We need to make sure the legal process is fully complied with, and then America will do what it does best. We'll have a leader in the White House at noon on January 20th, and we'll continue to execute American foreign policy. It's what President Trump wants to make sure that our entire team does all the way through, every day. It's what we're focused on. It's what I have my team focused on. There's still a lot going on in the world. We're pretty focused here in America on our own election. There's a lot still going on in the world, and we're focused on making sure we keep Americans safe during this time period.
You know, you were asked today about the concerns about a smooth transition, and you said it will be a smooth transition to a second Trump administration. Were you being serious there?
We'll have a smooth transition, and we'll see what the people ultimately decided when all the votes have been cast. We have a process, Brett. The Constitution lays out how electors vote. It's a very detailed process laid out. We need to comply with all of that, and then I am very confident that we will have a good transition, that we will make sure that whoever is in office on...
Yeah, baby. Mike Pompeo laying it out for Trump. Mike Pompeo laying it out for Trump says there will be a peaceful transition of power once the people speak. But what did the people say? What did the people say? Good morning, everybody. Marcus Conte reporting. We are back on the main channel for whatever that's worth, for however long. Right, until the powers that be decide that we're no longer allowed to be here. So if you're just tuning in and you're saying, I see a lot of people on this channel saying, "Where are you? Where are you, Conte? Where are you?" Well, we got banned like 2 weeks ago, and we've been broadcasting on the B channel, Marcus Conte News. So we're back for now, and so is Trump done? I guess that's the question, right? That's the big question mark, right? Are Trump's people, the people that Trump allegedly, that are allegedly carrying Trump on their shoulders, are they ready to really come out and fight and protest and push back and hit the streets and create a pushback like Antifa did and does and the radical left always does? Is that necessary, or will the legal system take care of everything? The legal beagles will take care of our concerns over a free and fair election. So let's dive in. So we're living in unprecedented times. Good morning, everybody in the chat. Good morning, Vinny DiMartini on the wrench. We are back, Patriots. Jason Walsh is here. Lord Rothschild, ban everything. Leap year. Terry Miller, SG Commander. Thomas who? Patriots. So thanks everybody for joining us, and let's start with a little pitch. MarcusConte.com site hasn't been updated in a few, I guess, like 2 weeks now, and I'll start doing that again today. I've been very busy. If you haven't heard, I am no longer in New York City. I am now a suburban country guy, suburban/country guy. Out in the sticks of Pennsylvania, man, battling it out, man, fucking dealing with shit that I never had to deal with, right? Dealing with like Department of Motor Vehicle. Oh, fucking, what the hell is that all about? Right? Shit is crazy, man. Shit is crazy. A lot of walking because I don't have a vehicle at this point, right? Because I spent the last 30 years of my life in New York City. You didn't need a car. You didn't want a car. Car's in your way. Right? You got to fucking park the thing. Just get on the subway, take the bus. But where I am right now, that is a impossibility. But I'm happy. I'm going through emotional stuff right now. I don't know if I'm missing New York or I'm just adjusting to a new speed, a new tempo. I want shit now. I want shit done in one day, right? Right? I want to do all these little things in one day. Fucking come on, man. Let's get busy, right? Let's get busy. Do it in one, get everything done. All this little, all these technicalities in life that I didn't even know were there. Right? Things like car insurance and stuff like that. So, I'm feeling it. I do feel. I think things will settle here. It's very unsettling because doing a lot of repairs, doing a lot of painting and fucking, that kind of shit. I love it. I think it's fun, scraping floors and making things look nice. Right? Look at my beautiful window. I got to fucking say hello to Mary across the street, 80-year-old woman. So if you've been looking for us, right? We've been here the whole time, and thanks for joining us. Kindly become a Patreon of this channel, wherever we may be, even if it's on BitChute or if it's on Patreon or if it's on a variation of YouTube. We're going to continue doing this fine work. Kindly become a Patreon by joining and or hit the tip jar and make a one-time contribution through PayPal. So this broke my heart. My buddy, you remember the Naked Cowboy? My buddy, my man, right? I fucking interviewed the Naked Cowboy. In fact, I saved the Naked Cowboy's ass, right? Literally, from an ass whooping, if you remember, down at Occupy City Hall. You remember when the Antifa thugs were chasing the Naked Cowboy down the street because he was playing a Trump song and he was in his naked Trump attire? Remember that? I saved this motherfucker's ass, right? But here he is. Here is the Naked Cowboy getting his pants ripped off. Watch this. Notice right away his guitar is no longer Trump. He no longer has a Trump guitar. He's back to Naked Cowboy. Watch this. Watch this shit. Watch this shit. Wah, fucking. Whoa, that was vicious, man. That's what time it is, man, where you attack. Look, his ass is out. Right? Right? That's what time it is now. Now it's okay to attack street performers because you don't like their opinion. He took that in stride. He didn't lose his cool. He didn't lose his cool. Right? Naked Cowboy wrestled to the ground. Motherfuckers, man. That's crazy, man. Street performing is tough, right? You always get a psychopath that'll do something like that. Right? So anyway, man. So can Trump make it? Can Trump make it through the hoop? Is the hoop wide enough for Trump to get through? Or is it really for Biden to steal? That's the question. Right? If you look at the numbers are saying clearly and convincingly, the official numbers, those numbers that are official, right? That the establishment says, here's the numbers. These are the official numbers. The official numbers say Joe Biden won by 290. They're jumping up and down saying we've never had a more honest and fair and integral and legal election in American history. There's actually a government agency saying that right now. But the numbers are clear in terms of the tally, right? In terms of the establishment tally, the only ones that are still in the balance is North Carolina, 50% for Trump, 48.7% for Biden, with 99% of the vote in. If Trump wins that, it doesn't mean anything because he's only at 217. You need 270 to win. And Georgia, great state of Georgia, still in the balance, leaning Biden with 99% of the vote in. Only looks like 5,000 votes separate the two. No, more than that. Whatever. About 10,000 votes separate the two. And but 99% of the vote in. What are they waiting for? I don't know. What are they waiting for? Alaska was called for Trump, and so that's it. North Carolina in the balance. Biden can afford to lose both because he's past 270. He's the winner. He's the declared winner, and Trump would have to wrestle back Pennsylvania, Arizona, quite possibly Wisconsin, quite possibly Michigan. All right, so can he make it? I don't know. How does the market? What does the market think? Right, we'll talk about this because everything is in price. Right, everything is. The stock market reveals the answer. What does Wall Street? What do the corporate slobs? What did the billionaire class really think of a Biden steal? Well, there it is. Right, Dow Jones Industrial Average is at 29,293. It's about 700 points from breaking Dow 30,000. Dow Jones Industrial Average has flirted with it. It was 600 points away from a Dow 30, and now we did the bottom. Looks like a V recovery. That would have been the buy if you're interested in buying. I mean, it actually broke my support line. It tipped the support line, went down to about 18,000. You remember when the COVID-19 set in? And now we're up to 30,000 on the Dow. Wow. Holy shit. What's driving it? Look at fucking Amazon. Look at Amazon. Look at this. If you would have bought Amazon, right, if you would have purchased Amazon back in March, right, when the COVID-19 scam thing happened, right, the COVID-19 stuff happened, right, when everybody got deadly sick, it was at 1,700. Now we're at 3,000. So Amazon has successfully doubled. But look at this. I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a little story. Back in 2008, I used to be a day trader, right? And I got my ass handed to me, right? But look at 2008. I reminisce about this all the time. I know it's not good to do, but in the major dip, right around the transition into 2009, when we saw that dreaded spike right around the end of 2008, that Amazon, the bottom was $37, and I think it has split once, but the equivalent of $37. So a 1,000 share investment, if you had like 30 grand laying around, if you had money laying around, and you bought at that bottom, look at the money you would have made on Amazon. Look at this shit, right? At $37, we are up to 3,000. I got a black cat. I got a black cat biting at me. Dow Jones up to 3,000 fucking points, right? That is a 100 times return on your money. So $100, no, let's say $1,000 investment would be worth, with two zeros, $100,000. A $37,000 investment, if you would have bought 1,000 shares, add two zeros to $37 would be 37 with two zeros. It's almost like $2.5 million. It's fucking crazy, right? $37,000 investment times 300. You do the math, right? It's just ridiculous fucking money. I need a calculator. No, this is not Weevil Girl. This is not Granny Cat. This is Batman. Granny Cat is downstairs. Granny Cat can't really handle the stairs, so I have to be careful. But this is Batman. Batman's always been here. Batman's in his glory right now because him and Granny Cat hate each other. But this is Batman. If you haven't, I'll show you Batman. You'll see Batman. I'll give you a little Batman break. Here's Batman. There's Batman. So this is a very large black cat. This is a very large black cat. His name is Batman. And he's one of the most congenial black cats. He's big, too. He's heavy. He's like 25 pounds, man. And it's Friday the 13th, so black cats are rule today. This is a Black Cat Day. Black Cat, happy Friday the 13th. It's generally in pagans, fucking think it's bad luck. I don't know, but look at that shit, man. Is it? It's not a healthy mind frame to reminisce about the past. If I would have done this, right? If I would have done that, if I only would have done the other thing, right? If I would have done something else, I'd be sitting on millions of dollars right now in a simple investment, right? Just set it and forget it, right? And that's a fucked up way to live, right? That is a fucked up way to live, because when you're doing that, you're missing the day, you're missing the moment, right? And it's you can feel it. You can feel it in your gut, especially when you're open, when you're an open wound like I am right now, because I just moved. I moved out of my comfort zone. So that is the big question today, tomorrow, and leading all the way up to January 20. How long can Trump keep contesting the 2020 election results with lawsuits? How long can he do it, right? Is he done? President Trump faces a pair of looming deadlines next month to wrap up his challenge to the 2020 election as the nation prepares for inauguration on June 20. So Trump is basically flipping a finger at Biden. No help, no assistance whatsoever in the transition to president. So Trump is saying, no, we might just win this thing. Trump, who refuses to concede the race to Joe Biden and doesn't appear likely to do so, has filed a series of election lawsuits alleging official misconduct and other improprieties in crucial swing states that he's projected to lose. Wow, is this going to be Trump's legacy? Right? He didn't lock her up, he didn't drain the swamp, but maybe, just maybe, he can call out the election fraud so that it's all seeable. Right? So that is Trump's position. We can't help you, Joe. You didn't win. Right? You didn't win. The fake news is saying that you won, but we don't think so. The two most recent. Hold on a second. Down, Batman. It's a heavy cat. Trump, who refuses to concede the race to Joe Biden and doesn't appear likely to do so, has filed. I've already read that. The two most recent came Monday in Pennsylvania and Wednesday in Michigan. Just days after Trump's personal lawyer, Rudy Giuliani, suggests as many as 5 suits may be possible. So we know this already. This is not news. The Trump team, along with Giuliani, are leveling lawsuits left, right, and center. The first deadline facing Trump is the safe harbor, date established in federal law following the disputed election between President Rutherford B. Hayes in 1876. You remember him? Under the Election Count Act of 1887, states have until 6 days before the Electoral College meets to resolve any election-related disputes and finish any recounting of votes cast. This year, the date is December 8th. So that's due day. That's D-Day right there. After which, states no longer have to consider any further issues and can certify their presidential election results. So less than a month away for that big date. The vast majority of states have laws that set the same deadlines for certifying the vote counts and resolving court cases, all of which fall within 30 days of the election, according to a National Conference of State Legislators. There's Rudy. Now, the other date is January 20. If Trump refuses to concede and refuses to leave, Biden will fill the vacuum. Right? It will fill the vacuum. I don't think this is going to go to Supreme Court because it's not Florida. The balance of the presidential election doesn't lean in one state like Florida, for example, right? And that's the difference. When they nailed put the nails in Trump's coffin, they put a lot of them in there, right? It's alleged cheating all over the board, right? Shit doesn't add up. Right? So anyway, William and Mary law professor, a Democrat, told CNN that the Electoral College Act, which created the safe harbor deadline, is tremendously complex and leaves a lot of gaps. So Trump doesn't show any signs of bowing out. Former Federal Election Commission lawyer Avid Natal there's really no reason to think that the December 8th date is going to present any difficulty, even in the states that are conducting recounts. Nodi, now Senior Director of the Trial Litigation and Chief of Staff at the Nonpartisan Campaign Legal Center, also noted that courts were apt at handling election cases very quickly. So not looking good for Trump. I mean, if I'm missing something, I want to be the guy to say Trump's going to win it. But I fail to see the evidence at this point. I just fail to see it. So if you're joining us late, thank you very much for finding us once again. We're back on the main channel, and until YouTube says you're done, right? What a world we live in, right? Will that be Trump? I mean, Trump's legacy of saying that the media is rigged, that there's fake news, right? All that has become part of Trump's legacy, right? That the news is, we have fake news, but didn't we know that beforehand? Why is it any different now? Because the sitting president said so. I had a conversation with a local yesterday about that, and he said the same thing. He said, well, Trump will be recognized. He's the only guy who ever called out the bullshit. Well, what actually changed about it? Has calling out the fake news made it less fake, or have they doubled down and just said Trump is a total fraud and a phony, right? And as time goes on, the gaslighting is intense. You have every mainstream media channel, broadcasting round the clock, billionaire owned and operated mainstream media broadcasting that Trump is out, Biden is the next president. The people have chosen Biden. So how do you contest that, right? Because most people, that's how they get their news. They look out they watch the television. The television says Biden won. The television says there's a deadly virus. Put your mask on. Stay away from people. There's a spike. This is what the media tells everyone. Is there truth to it? Not in this reporter's view. I think that Trump is very accurate in what he's saying regarding fake news, but Trump also failed to call out the election fraud way back when it mattered. Right? What about 2016 when Bernie Sanders got the knife stuck in his back by Hillary Clinton and her team, right? The collusion with the media. Where were you then? Where were you then with your attorney general to prosecute? Now you're getting screwed, and you really don't have the muscle. You don't have you have the people, but the people are busy sitting on the couch. The people are busy sitting, drinking coffee and drinking beer and smoking cigarettes on the couch. And they're not going to, what are they going to do? Right? They got lives to live and work to be done. Most of Trump's tried and true are just ordinary, regular Americans that see the bullshit and want it to change. So what is ordinary mom and pop going to do against a radicalized left like Antifa who will come and try to smash your fucking windows, right? They've been pretty quiet lately. There hasn't been much in the way of anarchy, right? Because in their mind, they won, right? They wait for the transition. They wait for the power vacuum. They wait for that gap and try to stick their foot in it, right? With Biden in the transition, right? Power vacuum, right? So there you go. Trump and Giuliani alleging one lawsuit after another, tons of lawsuits. So this is amazing, spectacular, it's unbelievable. 2020 election was most secure in U.S. history, officials say. All right, so learn your place, fall in line. What is the fucking problem? Why? What don't you understand in this country? I know you see fake news and everybody online proves it's fake. You see rigged elections and everybody online proves it's rigged and fake. And you want something to be done about it. I don't really, I mean, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about, right? What the fuck are you talking about? We have, the officials have said that this was the most secure election in our history. So let's read. a coalition of state and federal officials, see, they're official, pushed back against President Trump's claim of widespread election fraud, saying they have no evidence that ballots were compromised, and saying the election was the most secure in American history. No evidence? What more evidence do you need? We found there was the voter fraud thing where a mailman was chucking ballots. The math tally doesn't add up. The machines themselves are highly hackable. They're unaccountable to only three. They're unaccountable and accountable to only three organizations that own and control the black boxes that we vote on. How do you say it's the most secure in American history? Quote, while we know there are many unfounded claims and opportunities for misinformation about the process of our elections, we can assure you we have the utmost confidence in the security and integrity of our elections. Oh, I feel better. Now I feel a little better about that. And you should too. Right? The Cyber Security and Infrastructure Security Agency said in a statement, right? There's more they say. I got the statement right here. It doesn't. Who are they? Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. Who the fuck is that, right? The members of the Election Infrastructure Government Coordinating Council. Who are these people? Right? But you know, because they're the agency, and they have less access to the election tally than the companies, the privately held companies that do the tallying, that create the machines, that have been proven to be hackable in moments, in minutes, in like 30 seconds, right? Very, very vulnerable software. Right? No paper trail, right? Rig it, no paper trail. We don't know. It's whatever the little piece of paper, and it's whatever the little number inside the computer says. Right? We open it up, we look at the number, and then we erase the whole fucking thing. And you're supposed to believe that. Right? When you have questions, turn to election officials as trusted voices as they administer elections. Says the lead, says the guy who's asking you to trust him. Right? In America, we have confidence in the security of our vote. You should too, the statement said. The statement's authors said they have no evidence that any vote system had deleted or lost votes, had altered votes, or was compromised in any way. Whoa, wow, I feel really good. Maybe it was just me. Maybe it was you. Maybe it was all of us together. And over the last 4 years, the corruption we were seeing is not founded, right? Because the agencies, the security agency, is telling us that we're fucking looking at the wrong thing. What are you talking about? There's no election fraud. There's no election fraud. We have no evidence of that. So they said all of the states with close results have paper records. Where? There's no fucking paper record. That's bullshit. We vote on black box machines. Paper records, I have no evidence of any system. They said that the close states have paper records, which allows for the recounting of each ballot and for the identification and correction of any mistakes or errors. Right. They have, even in the ones where there's a paper vote, if you have to recount, if you have to count those ballots, they're going to, these agencies are clearly going to run out the clock. It's January 20. If there's no decision by January 20, then Biden's team will move to transition. They will transition, just like George W. Right? Bush 2 did the same thing. Remember it was the Supreme Court vowed, and then I think Gore challenged it, and then Bush one day stated they basically were seizing power. They moved into the White House. The transition moved right in. And that's precisely how Biden's team will probably have to handle it, because Trump is not participating. Right? I know. It's over. I know it's not over. It's not over. I know. I hear your pain. I hear your cries. I know you're searching for someone to tell you it's going to be all right, right? But I don't see it, right? I don't see it. I don't see the evidence that Trump can flip this thing unless it's up in the area of coup, up in the area of armed revolt. It's crazy, right? It might take that for Trump to stay in power. The statement's authors said they had no evidence that any voting system had deleted or lost votes, altered votes, or was compromised in any way. They said all of the states, I read that already. So the November 3rd election was the most secure in American history. Right now, across the country, election officials are reviving and double-checking the entire election process prior to finalizing the result. You know how hard it is to pull the paper ballots out of one of these agencies' hands? Yeah. They talk the talk. Yeah, no problem. We're going to recount. Yeah, we got the ballots right here. Fucking see the stack on the wall? We got those truckloads right over there. That's all the ballots. We're going to count those someday. And all of a sudden, when you challenge it legally, the ballots get destroyed. After a certain period of time, they'll just destroy the ballots. Whenever they're legally allowed to do it, right? Whether it's after January 3rd. So the evidence of any electioneering, election fraud is going to be swept under the rug. I mean, because that's just the way it is, right? Let's read some comments. Marcus, I look forward to you doing an expo on the new administration, putting in the same BS people of Obama that gave us Trump. I am going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that right now because I see what's going on. Biden is stacking the deck with all shit sandwiches. All of Obama's people, even people that ran against him. He's got Bernie, Elizabeth Warren. He's got Pete Buttigieg. He's got Amy Klobuchar slated for, get this, Attorney General. Right? So William Barr is done. Mike Pompeo is done. Right? Trump's swamp is out, and they're just going to switch it right back with the corporate fucks. Now, I heard someone mention to me that Biden was appointing corporate guys, corporate Wall Street guys to his cabinet. I haven't seen any evidence of that yet. If someone has a list of that, I'd like to take a look at it. But let's see what we could say. Joe Biden ignores Trump obstruction to press ahead with cabinet selection. So Biden ain't waiting for nobody, man. Biden's saying, "Fuck this shit. Let's get right back to business." So there's the picture that they're running with, and that's Pete Buttigieg, Bernie, and Pocahontas. The president-elect is likely to value Washington experience, but must balance the wings of his party and a possibly hostile Senate. Possibly hostile Senate? The Republicans, you can guarantee they're going to go back to being the party of no. Republican Party now is the party of no. What do you want? No. How much? No. They did it throughout Obama. They did 8 years of no. And nothing got done. You got half-baked policy. You got Obamacare because the Republicans refused to move towards a single-payer system, a universal health care system. Obama wanted that, remember. Obama wanted that. That was one of the things he ran on. And then the big compromise, the big Democratic compromise, where the Democratic compromise is the equivalent of they look over the aisle and they say, what do the Republicans want? And then they say, okay, we'll give them that. That's how the Democrats compromise. That's how Biden operates. That's how Obama operated. They look over to the other side and say, how can we help you? They look to the donor class and say, how can I help you? The last place they look is the people that voted for them. Those people, they say, fall in line. We represent you. Shut your hole. Do as we say. I know we cheat. I know we lie. I know we steal. Fuck you. Well, there's something in it for you, right? Because look how the cheating paid off. We got Biden. We got Biden in the president for president. Right? So anyway, President-elect Joe Biden's team is pressing forward with the preparations to take over the federal government when his term starts despite virtually no help from Donald Trump's outgoing administration. Biden faces choices that will either please or anger the bickering wings of his party as leftists and centrists veer to to set the direction of the incoming Democratic administration. The process also sends a clear message to the Republican Party and Trump. Biden won and will be sitting in the White House come January. Aha, aha, aha. So let's talk about it. The truth is, who's saying this? Who is saying this? The truth is, the Trump administration can file whatever it wants to the Federal Registry, can do whatever executive orders it wants until noon on January 20th. And at that moment, they can no longer do it. And the Biden people get to stop whatever they had in the pipeline and put whatever they want in their own pipeline, says Tever Troy, who helped run the transition second Bush-Cheney term in 2004. So a Bush-Cheney guy, is saying that the deadline is January 20. So that's what the Democrats will do. To run out the clock is January 20. Now, I don't know, there's the 14th Amendment. What is the 14th? 14th Amendment. I think that's all persons. Which is the amendment? Is it the 15th Amendment or 25th? Drop the number. What amendment is it where the transition of power will occur if a president fails to step aside? Presidential. I should know this, and I don't know. 22nd Amendment, the United States election rules, eligible conditions for presidency. What is the 25th Amendment? Yeah. This is in sickness and in health. 14th is the 14th Amendment. I don't know. Is it the 14th Amendment? I don't know. Whatever. But one of the amendments, there's one of the amendments that says that if Trump is unwilling to step aside, that they'll usher in. People are saying the 14th, the 12th. I don't know what it is. But one of those amendments in the Constitution. Remember when we had that? Remember when we had a Constitution? Oh, fucking remember that shit? Remember when we had a country of the people, by the people, and for the people? Maybe my down kind of. I'm a very sensitive guy. I'm a very sensitive person. That's why that's why I can do this work. I don't necessarily have to research a whole lot. All I have to do is walk around the community or walk around, in public settings and interact with people, and I get a very, very strong opinion of what the hell is going on. Or if I read stuff too. I mean, when I was 7, I once thought I had psychic abilities, and I probably did at the time. Then it passes. I had the ability to see the future, the ability to read people's behavior, and I don't know. I think that's my gut instinct is that when you step outside of the big cities, people are way less. They're way more powerless. They're way less powerful than I had believed. Right? Their lives are so complex. Their lives are so revolving around home or children or job, and all they're really looking for is something to benefit them. Like, for example, in Northeast Pennsylvania, bring back the coal mines. Bring back, don't decriminalize fracking. Don't make fracking illegal. And things that this type of place requires to make a living, right? A lot of people where I am right now look at technology. They don't even get it. Like I don't even think they have, I don't even think they have. A lot of people aren't even connected to the internet. You look at some of their phones; they have very vintage. They're operating on vintage equipment, and that's who. That's who you expect to overturn an election. The salt of the earth, American people to rise up and for what? For what? They'll just believe that. Most of them just believe that we're powerless. There's nothing we can do about it. Let's just support Biden, is what a lot of them will do. Of course, there'll be, the people who refuse to accept that, or who know better. Right? And what are you going to do? Drive yourself crazy? I for one am not going to spend the next 4 years proving that Trump won the election. I said it in 2016 that the elections are rigged. They rigged it against Bernie Sanders. They painted Bernie as a Russian operative. And then when Bernie was out of the way and supported Hillary Clinton, they flipped it to Trump. I mean, it was very, very straightforward. They came up with the fake dossier and all that stuff. Right? All that stuff came after the knife stab by Bernie Sanders. Remember, March, April, May of 2016 is when Russiagate was born, when the big steal, the fix was in for Hillary Clinton, and we discovered it. Right? I don't know how Trump overcame that margin of cheating. I really don't. I mean, that will always be a mystery. How the fuck did Trump win in 2016? Was it such an overwhelming margin of victory because they hated Hillary Clinton so much? It is possible. I don't know, because everything we say is speculation, because we don't have executive access to the voting apparatus. Right? We have to swallow what they're telling us. Right? So anyway, whatever it was. So the Biden team, Troy added, know the things they want to stop from happening, and they're just going to do it. Just go do it. So this is the cabinet. I want to look at the cabinet selections. The cabinet selections on Wednesday. What are we? Friday. Today's Friday the 13th. Be very careful. Be very careful on Friday the 13th. All right? Grab your black cat and let them guide you. On Wednesday night, Biden took his most significant step yet, naming Ron Klain, a longtime aide, as chief of staff. Longtime friend. The move underscores that even as Biden vows to fill the administration with figures spanning all wings of the Democratic Party, he also plans to include hands familiar with the conventional levers of Washington, D.C. So I don't know who this is, this Ron Klain guy, as the chief of staff. Big position, especially in a transition year. It's not so important after the fact, but it is certainly in the transition, the first year. He wants people who are super capable, Biden says. Part of what you want to do is restore faith in government, in public service, said Lisa Brown. Right? Just nothing. It's platitude. Brown noted that Biden's team was focused on diversity. Oh. A lot of what he wants to do, if he didn't get the Senate back, is going to be harder. So one of the things he's got control over is the people that he wants to appoint. It's like a 5-year-old saying that. He has control over the people that he's supposed to pick. I say there's going to be a handful of bankers in there, a bunch of tech scumbags, right, manipulating the. What presidential, what executive branch people do, politicians do, and Trump is certainly guilty of it, is they look out into the field and they say, well, who knows a lot about this subject? For example, Trump picked Steve Mnuchin to run the Treasury. Now, Steve Mnuchin is a lifelong Goldman Sachs guy. And before him was Eric Geithner. Remember Trump's, Obama's guy, Eric Geithner? And before that was Henry Paulson, a long lineage of Goldman Sachs. So is Biden going to continue that legacy of picking, super wealthy bankers, right? People with enormous influence that really don't give a shit about the people. They care about their money. They care about their bank. You think Goldman Sachs, an ex-Goldman Sachs guy, is trained to go to bat for the people? No, he's trained to go to bat for himself, for his people. His people are Jewish New York at Goldman Sachs, right? And Oppenheimer Securities. That's who he goes to bat for, to expand their wealth and expand the wealth of their shareholders. That's what guys like Steve Mnuchin does. Right? And that's who Trump picked, right? Drain the swamp? Where? How? Who? You added to the swamp. Klain's appointment. I don't want to read that. What else? There's another fascinating bunch of numbers, bunch of people. Meanwhile, Trump's re-election campaign has pressed forward with long-shot lawsuits. Increasingly, though, lawmakers on Capitol Hill have voiced disagreement with the White House's stance. I just want to see who's the people that he's picking. So, subject to the results of 2 runoff races in Georgia, Republicans appear likely to narrowly keep their majority in the Senate. Ooh, 2 years, I bet the Democrats can take it back. With Biden chirping and the mainstream media gaslighting the shit out of people, right? Maybe 2 years. Maybe you might even get a resignation special appointment and flip the Senate Democrat. And that would be, that would be point game, right? You go right back to the beginning of Obama, where Obama had the House and the Senate and the executive branch, and Obama still couldn't pass health care because the party of no, the Republicans are one voice, right? Even without a majority, right? I don't know. Why didn't Obama hit the ground running and get what he had to do? All right, so we may be heading back to the same trifecta. Democrats in the executive branch, in House and in Senate. Right? So who so far, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders have signaled interest in running the Treasury and Department of Labor, respectively. So Elizabeth Warren is veering for the Secretary of the Treasury job. Wow, what does she know about that? She knows a lot about banking corruption, but does she know how to bank? Is she a banker? Is she capable of understanding that mindset? Is she better than a Steve Mnuchin? I don't think so, because she was a college professor. What the fuck does that? How does that qualify you? Or is it just a job that doesn't really require anything? It just requires being honest. Right? And Bernie Sanders' interest in Department of Labor, $15 minimum wage. Right, that's what Bernie's going to become. Bernie's going to become a lonely cabinet member in his old age. Right? Who else? Right? Michelle Flornano, former Deputy Secretary of Defense, is regularly mentioned as Secretary of Defense. So, Secretary of Defense, New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham to run the Department of Health and Human Services. I wish that Bernie Sanders would do that. If you're trying to get health care for all, do that. The emerging pattern is that Biden is eager to bring in people with prior government experience. Chris Coons, possible, and other names. Here's some of the names. Susan Rice, Anthony Blinken, right? I saw Pete Buttigieg in there. Yeah, Pete Buttigieg is named most commonly touted for a potential position, possibly UN ambassador, possibly Department of Veterans Affairs. So that would be interesting. Possibly director of the Office of Management and Budget. Biden, according to multiple Democrats, has grown especially fond of the young former South Bend mayor. Ooh, turn around, Pete. Democrats suspect Buttigieg will ultimately be drawn to whatever post could help his long-term ambitions. Serving as ambassador to the UN would give him a powerful megaphone and proximity to deep-pocketed New York donors. Pete Buttigieg. Other names, Simone Sanders. Possibly the press secretary. I think Trump has had 3 already. They switched those out pretty quickly. Jan O'Malley administration. So O'Biden, excuse me. O'Biden is picking and choosing his friends, and refilling up the swamp. Empty that swamp and fill it up again. All right, let's listen to, I should have played this earlier, but let's listen to Obama. Obama talking about election fraud in our country. Everything is so fair and right straight up. Listen.
Former President Barack Obama is speaking to CBS News in his first TV interview since the 2020 election. He's about to release his long-awaited memoir. It's called A Promised Land. Scott Pelley interviewed the 44th president for 60 Minutes, and we got to sit down with him for CBS Sunday Morning. President Obama reflected on the start of his own administration and how his experience was very different from the transition that President Trump is blocking right now.
When Donald Trump won, I stayed up until 2:30 in the morning, and I then called Donald Trump to congratulate him. His margin of victory over Hillary Clinton wasn't greater than Joe Biden's margin over him.
Yeah.
But if you're listening to some of the talk radio that Trump voters are listening to, if you're watching Fox News, if you're getting these tweets,
this is, well, listen to Obama. This is the ultimate in gaslighting. This is the narrative. This is what Obama does. Obama continues to spin the integrity of our elections. Don't look at that dirty stuff that got him elected and got Biden elected and got, Hillary Clinton became the nominee. Just listen to what I'm saying, right? The elections are integral. I was the president. I know.
those allegations are presented as facts. So you've got millions of people out there who think, oh yeah, there must be cheating because the president said so.
I think about John McCain calling, George and Laura Bush welcoming you and Michelle Obama to the White House.
Could not have been more gracious.
I remember you inviting Donald Trump to the White House.
Yep.
I'll never forget it because you said, I wish that you succeed because we want the country to succeed.
Right.
What is at stake here?
Well, look, Joe Biden will be the next president of the United States. Kamala Harris will be the next vice president. There's no legal basis.
But he's getting support from members of the Republican Party who are not challenging him.
And that has been disappointing. They obviously didn't think there was any fraud going on because they didn't say anything about it for the first 2 days. But there's damage to this because what happens is that the peaceful transfer of power, the notion that any of us who attain an elected office, whether it's dog catcher or president, are servants of the people. It's a temporary job. We're not above the rules. We're not above the law. That's the essence of our democracy.
And you can see more of our conversation.
Amazing, right? Amazing. No yield. There's no yield in the propaganda war against the people. Obama made a lot of money. Obama's now worth $100 million. He's got a $26 million home in California. And that's only the money we know about. How many shares of Amazon did he get in 2008? I wonder. Because if he got 10,000 shares, he's worth a lot of millions of dollars. Right? And so anyway, that's Obama saying it. Even China finally congratulates Joe Biden and Kamala Harris on election win. So I thought China supports Biden and Russia supports Trump. Is that the idea? So now we could say that Biden is in the pocket of China? Yeah, it's nonsense. After a nearly week-long delay, China on Friday congratulated President-elect Joe Biden and his running mate Kamala Harris on their election amid strained relations between Washington and Beijing. So China is going to get everything they wanted, right? It's going to go right back to the way it was. Everything is going to return right back to the way it was. China, cheap underwear, all your trade, the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, a new way to do business. We don't want to bring manufacturing back to America. We want you to figure it out, right? Middle of America people, figure this shit out, man. What's wrong with you, right? 10 people veering for one job? Well, fucking fight it out, man. Fight it out. We're doing fine over here, man. My 10,000 shares of Amazon put me over $100 million. I don't understand your fucking problem, man. Right? Barney Frank and Chris Dodd in 2008. How much money did these people steal? Nancy Pelosi. Right? How much money do they continue to steal? Let's look at the stock market right now as we speak. The Dow Jones is up another 164 points, and Amazon is killing it, is absolutely killing it, down $19 today. So what? It's at 3,090. Look at this fucking chart. It's hard to imagine, right? right? This is where people are making their money, right? So people who are making this kind of money don't understand what you're talking about working for a living. They don't understand, get up at 5 o'clock and head out and swing a hammer or some other, or work in a factory. They don't get that. They don't understand what you're talking about, right? All they know is their work is get up, check with your broker, right, or check with whoever, your financial advisor, get on the phone, then work out, right? Go on the treadmill and watch television while you exercise, right? And then have your maid bring you your meal, and they haven't washed a dish in 100 years. That's who's making our decisions for us. That's who our elected officials become. Right? They look a down and out politician, for example, like Obama. Obama literally had holes in his shoes when he was running for president. Right? His shoes was shot. Right? His whole he had nothing. Right? Driving around in a piece of shit car. And he turns to the billionaire class and says, "Man, these people are living large, right? Wow, that they have big fucking money, man, big money. I'd like to get me some of that money. Right? And greed kicks in. And then they start, yeah. Obama was the greatest example of winning over the support of the people. And once he got in there, he literally turned his head to Wall Street and had Citibank pick his cabinet because he didn't know what he was doing. Right? He didn't have the experience to do it. So he Citibank picked his cabinet with all bankers and scumbags and all money grabbers, right? And so that's who's running your country. That's who's running our great nation, right? What else we got? There's a little news on the COVID spike. Biden official Kate Bedingfield dodges lockdown question. So one of Biden's selling points was that he was going to make everybody in the country mandatory masks and quite possibly the vaccines. Biden's top spokesman dodged a question on whether the president-elect is considering a 4 to 6 week national lockdown amid the uptick in COVID-19 cases. And he seems to be dodging the question, Biden, and that's a good thing. Right? Because he catered to the kooky left. I think Trump will probably be Trump's most accurate prediction will be that COVID-19 will suddenly go away, that the numbers will not be what they are now, right? Because we won, right? So let's make it go away. Right? So that's where Biden is at. Biden is walking back his position on lockdowns and masks and distance and all that stuff. Good for us. Right? But in other news, UK Prime Minister meets with Bill Gates to discuss implementing global vaccine program. Here we go again. TPP. Remember that, right? Something that resembles the TPP, where all of the corporations and all of the bankers and all of the billionaire class get around the table, like in Bilderberg, right? That organization, right? The billionaire organization. They'll get around and they'll create the TPP that Obama really, really wanted in his first term because it was a good idea, right? Get the corporations to control the economy, right? Get the banks to control the economy. Right? And the fundamental error in that is that those organizations don't work on the behalf of the people. They work on their own behalf and the shareholder. Right? And but anyway, we're heading right back to that TPP where a global vaccine program could become part of that, right? And you can't dispute it because it's not American, right? It's not American. There's so many of the billionaire class that made their fortunes in the U.S. on the back of the American people are all globalists now, and they're tired of that shit. They don't need it. Their next bump up is to become a globalist, where, TPP, we have our own courts, we have our own, tax havens, we have our own world. For the little people, you got to follow the rules, man. You got to stand in line to motor vehicle and get your license. That kind of shit. Or get your license upgraded. All right, so Bill Gates is touting the horn. I don't want to read all this, but when I see globalists and I see Bill Gates has the ear of the Prime Minister of UK, and they're talking about a global program. Oh, your vaccine is coming. It is coming. No doubt about it. Marcus Conte reporting. So good morning, everybody. If you were wondering where the hell I was here. I was just on the other channel on Marcus Conte News. I'm glad everybody's back. I mean, the great summation is, in our heart of hearts, we believe that Trump was swindled, right? We do believe that, right? And there is mountains of circumstantial evidence that proves that, in the form of exit polls that are fudgy, black box voting machines that are unaccountable. Now we're going to see the wave of propaganda saying that we're already seeing it, that the establishment is lining up to say how integral our elections are, and that this was one of the most fair elections in modern history. What's the exact terminology that they use? The exact terminology. How did they call it? How did they say it? 2020 election was most secure in U.S. history. What does secure mean, right? What does that mean? It means like we secure it, but was it fair and free and open and accurate? That's the real question. That is the absolute real question, right? Yeah, that's it. So Marcus Conte reporting. Have a great day, everybody, man. Have a great day. Good morning, everybody in the chat. Good morning in the chat. Welcome back. Sterling Price on the wrench. Thank you very much for joining us. Murray Terra. Walking Axel. Terragram Ghost. It's interesting. We have different names. Chesley Snipes is here. All right, everybody. Stay put. Stay happy. Stay aware. Stay awake. Stay awake. Marcus Conte.